Ladies, listen carefully, because this is not just advice, this is a wake-up call. If a man uses you, he does not love you. He loves what you do for him. He loves the comfort, the convenience, the ego boost. But you're just an option, a temporary pleasure, a tool for his benefit. And you allow it. Why? Because you confuse attention with love. Because you believe his excuses over your own intuition. A man who values you will not use you, he will uplift you, he will stand by you, not just when he needs something, but when you need someone. But let's be real, some men will sweet talk you, make promises, and feed you dreams just to keep you in their grip. And you stay because you hope he will change. But let me tell you something, men don't change for the woman they take for granted. They change for the woman they are afraid to lose. So stop begging for his time, stop proving your worth, stop waiting for the bare minimum. If a man makes you feel like an option, show him that you are the prize. And if he doesn't see it, walk away with dignity. A man who truly loves you will never use you. This is not just a statement. It is a truth as solid as the ground beneath your feet. Love is not a transaction. It is not a game where one wins and the other loses. When a man genuinely loves you, his actions, his words, and his presence will all align with one purpose: to cherish and honor you, not to exploit you for his own benefit. But let's talk about reality. Too many women confuse momentary affection with lasting love. They mistake attention for devotion. Just because a man calls you at night doesn't mean he cares. Just because he texts you doesn't mean he values you. Some men will give you just enough to keep you hanging on, but never enough to make you feel truly secure. They will make you believe that love is about enduring their inconsistency, tolerating their neglect, and hoping for change that will never come. A man who loves you does not leave you confused. His love does not come with conditions, with clauses, with loopholes that benefit only him. He does not make you question your worth. He does not make you feel like you have to compete for his time, his energy, his loyalty. He does not play with your emotions, only to come back with sweet words when he feels you slipping away. A man who truly loves you will make sure you know every single day that you are valued, respected, and appreciated. Not just when it is convenient for him, not just when he needs something from you, but because his love is constant and unwavering. If a man only shows up when he wants something, that is not love, it is manipulation. If he showers you with affection only when he feels you pulling away, that is not love, it is control. If he makes you feel special just enough to keep you from leaving, but never enough to make you feel secure, then you are not in love, you are in a trap. And the worst part? You know it. Deep down, your intuition screams at you, tells you something is not right. But what do? You silence that voice. You tell yourself, maybe I'm overthinking, maybe I should just be patient. But let me tell you something, love does not make you feel like you are losing your mind. Love does not require you to beg, to chase, to prove yourself over and over again, just to be seen. When a man truly loves you, he does not play games with your heart. He does not disappear when things get tough. He does not run when you need him the most. He stands by you not because he has to, but because he wants to. His love is not based on what you can do for him. It is based on who you are. He does not look at you as a convenience, but as a partner. He does not take advantage of your kindness, your loyalty, your heart. He protects them, but let's be honest, many women stay in situations where they know they are being used. They stay because they are afraid to be alone. They stay because they think this is the best they can get. They stay because society has told them that having a man, any man, is better than having no man at all. But what kind of love is it if it leaves you feeling empty? What kind of relationship is it if you have to fight every day just to be noticed? What kind of man is he if he only takes and never gives? A man who loves you will never put you in a position where you have to doubt him. He will never make you feel like you have to fight for a place in his life. He will never leave you wondering whether he cares. Because a man who truly loves you does not keep you as an option. He makes you a priority. He does not make you feel like you are difficult to love. He makes you feel like you are the best thing that ever happened to him. So if you are with a man who makes you question your worth, if you are with a man who only calls when it benefits him, if you are with a man who makes you feel like you are not enough, stop lying to yourself. Stop making excuses for him. Stop waiting for a love that does not exist. Because the truth is, love is not something you have to beg for. Love is not something you have to chase. Love is something that flows naturally, without force, without games, without condition. A man who truly loves you will never put you in a position where you have to choose between your dignity and his affection. He will never take advantage of your kindness and call it love. He will never make you feel like you are replaceable, like you are just another option on his list. He will cherish you, respect you, and honor you. Not just with words, but with actions, with consistency, with commitment. And let me tell you something else. If a man truly loves you, you will never have to wonder. You will never have to ask, does he care? Does he really love me? Am I enough? Because when a man truly loves you, the answer will be so clear that you will never need to question it. If he values you only for what you offer, he doesn't value you. Let that sink in. Because too many women believe that if they give more, love more, sacrifice more, the man will finally see their worth. But let me tell you something. If a man only appreciates what you bring to the table and not the woman who sets the table, then you are not in a relationship. You are in a transaction. Some men do not love women. They love benefits. They love the comfort, the convenience, the effort, the attention. They love how you make their life easier, how you support their dreams, how you stand by them when the whole world turns against them. But what happens when you need support? What happens when you are tired, when you need love, when you need someone to lean on? That's when you see the truth. He is not there for you. He was never there for you. He was there for what you could do for him. A man who only values what you give, but not who you are, is not a partner. He is a taker. He takes your time, he takes your energy, he takes your kindness, and in return he gives you crumbs. A little attention here, a few words of affection there, just enough to keep you hooked, but never enough to make you feel truly valued. And the worst part, you accept it. You tell yourself, at least he is here. At least he calls. At least he says he loves me. But let me ask you, when did at least become enough for you? When did you start believing that you have to settle for the bare minimum? A woman's love is powerful. It heals, it nurtures, it builds. And a wise man knows that a woman is not just a source of comfort, she is a force, a queen, a partner in every sense of the word. But a foolish man, he sees a woman as a resource, something to use when needed, something to discard when he is done, and if you allow it, he will take from you until there is nothing left, until you are drained, exhausted, questioning yourself, wondering why you are not enough. But the truth is, it was never about you. It was never about what you lacked. It was about his inability to love anyone beyond his own needs. Have you ever noticed how some men only show appreciation when they are at their lowest? When they are struggling, when they need help, when they have nothing, suddenly they see your worth. Suddenly they remember to call, to check in, to say, I love you. But the moment they are back on their feet, they forget. They distance themselves, they get comfortable. They no longer see the need to put in effort because they believe you are already theirs. This is not love. This is entitlement. They do not cherish you. They assume you will always be there. They do not value you. They value the security you provide. A man who only values your presence when it benefits him is a man who will never truly love you. Because love is not about taking, it is about giving, about mutual respect, about recognizing someone's worth even when they have nothing to offer except their heart. If a man can only appreciate you when you are bending over backward for him, then he does not appreciate you. He appreciates the service, the sacrifice, the convenience. And here's the truth many women don't want to hear. Some men do not want a strong woman. They want a woman who will make their life easier. They want a woman who will fix their problems, heal their wounds, and carry their burdens, all while they do the bare minimum. And many women accept this role, thinking that if they love hard enough, if they prove themselves, the man will finally reciprocate. But let me tell you, love does not work that way. You do not have to prove your worth to the right man. The right man will already see it. When a man truly values you, he values you. Not just your beauty, not just your kindness, not just your efforts, but your soul, your essence, your being. He does not just love how you make him feel, he loves who you are. He does not just enjoy the benefits of being with you, he cherishes the privilege of knowing you. He does not just take, he gives. He supports, he uplifts. He stands beside you, not just in words but in actions. But the wrong man, he will keep you in a cycle of doubt. He will make you feel like you're always one step away from being enough. He will make you feel like if you just try a little harder, he will finally commit. If you just love him a little more, he will finally change. But let me tell you something. If a man only shows you love when he needs something, that is not love. That is convenience. And you deserve more than that. So ask yourself, does he love you or does he love what you do for him? Does he appreciate your soul or does he just enjoy the way you cater to him? If the answer is the latter, then you already know what you need to do. Your intuition knows when you are being used. The problem is, you don't always listen. You feel it deep inside, a quiet discomfort, a silent alarm, a voice whispering, something isn't right. But instead of listening, you override it. You convince yourself you are overreacting. You make excuses for his behavior. You silence the very voice that is trying to protect you. A woman's intuition is her greatest gift, but it is also the most ignored. When a man starts pulling away, when he stops putting in effort, when his words no longer match his actions, you feel it. You sense the shift before it even happens. His touch doesn't feel the same, his words don't carry the same warmth, and his presence starts feeling like an absence. But what do? Instead of trusting yourself, you start searching for external validation. You ask your friends, do you think he still loves me? You analyze his texts. You replay your conversations. You try to find proof that you are wrong. But deep down, you already know. The body never lies. Have you ever noticed how your energy changes when you are with someone who truly loves you versus someone who is just using you? With real love, you feel safe, you feel seen, you feel at peace. But when you are being used, your body tenses up, you feel uneasy, anxious, drained. Your sleep is restless, your mind is unsettled, your heart is uncertain. That is not love. That is your intuition begging you to wake up. But too many women stay, not because they don't know the truth, but because they don't want to accept it. They would rather hold on to the illusion of love than face the reality of loss. They tell themselves, maybe he's just going through something, maybe I'm expecting too much, maybe if I give him more time he will change. But let me tell you something. Love does not make you doubt yourself. Love does not leave you feeling insecure. Love does not make you question whether you are enough. If you constantly have to second guess where you stand, then you are not standing on love. You are standing on quicksand. A man who truly loves you will not put you in a position where you have to wonder. He will not make you feel like you are chasing his affection. He will not leave you questioning whether his feelings are real. But a man who is using you, he will always keep you confused. Confusion is his greatest weapon. One day, he will make you feel like the most important person in the world, and the next day, he will act like you don't exist. He will breadcrumb you just enough to keep you hanging on, but never enough to make you feel secure. And every time you start to pull away, he will suddenly remember how much he loves you. This is not love. This is control. This is manipulation. This is a game designed to keep you emotionally hooked. And the only way to break free is to trust yourself. Trust the feeling in your gut that tells you something is off. Trust the way your energy shifts when he is around. Trust the moments when his actions don't match his words. You are not crazy for feeling what you feel. You are not too emotional for noticing the inconsistency. You are not too sensitive for wanting clarity. Your feelings are valid, your intuition is powerful, and your truth does not need anyone's approval. The problem is, you have spent so much time doubting yourself that you have forgotten how to listen to your own wisdom. You do not need confirmation from him to know what is real. You do not need him to admit that he is using you before you walk away. You do not need to wait for undeniable proof before you trust what you already feel inside. The longer you ignore your intuition, the more you suffer. The longer you justify his actions, the more you betray yourself. And the more you betray yourself, the harder it becomes to recognize your own worth. Somewhere along the way, you started believing that love requires suffering. That if you just hold on a little longer, things will get better. That if you just give more, he will finally see your value. But let me ask you, why are you trying so hard to prove your worth to a man who should have seen it from the start? Why are you fighting so hard to keep someone who does not fight for you? Your intuition has been screaming at you, and yet you keep silencing it. You keep looking for signs when the sign has been there all along. Your own discomfort, your own unhappiness, your own exhaustion. The way he makes you feel is the only proof you need. If his presence brings you more pain than peace, what else are you waiting for? The universe has given you the gift of intuition for a reason. It is not a coincidence that you feel what you feel. It is not an accident that you sense things before they happen. You were not meant to live in confusion, to settle for mixed signals, to waste your energy on someone who does not truly see you. The moment you start listening to yourself is the moment everything changes. The moment you start trusting yourself is the moment you reclaim your power. And the moment you reclaim your power is the moment no man can ever use you again. A man who truly loves you will never make you feel like love is a battlefield, where you must constantly fight for his attention, his respect, his time. Love is not something you should have to beg for. Affection is not something you should have to chase. And yet, how many women are out here running, exhausting themselves, proving themselves just to be seen by a man who does not even deserve the privilege of their presence? Think about it. When a man truly values something, he protects it, he prioritizes it, he takes care of it. Look at the things he cherishes. His car, his career, his hobbies, his friends. He never forgets to show up for those things. He never needs time to think before investing in them. But when it comes to you, suddenly he is confused. Suddenly he needs space. Suddenly he is not ready. But ready for what? Ready to treat you with basic decency? Ready to love you the way you deserve? No, he is not ready. He is just not willing. And that is something you must understand. There is a difference between a man who is struggling to be a better person and a man who is simply using you as an option while he enjoys his freedom. A man who values you will never put you in a position where you feel like you must prove your worth. You were not placed on this earth to audition for the role of girlfriend or wife. You are not an unpaid intern in a relationship working overtime waiting for a promotion that may never come. If a man does not recognize your worth from the start, he does not deserve access to you at all. Stop waiting for a man to wake up one day and realize how special you are. Stop hoping that your patience, your sacrifices, your suffering will somehow turn him into the man you want him to be. A man does not change because you love him harder. A man changes because he chooses to. And if he has not chosen to, nothing you do will ever be enough. How many times have you found yourself justifying his behavior, telling yourself, maybe he's just going through something, maybe I need to be more patient, maybe I am expecting too much. But let's turn the question around. When have you ever expected too much? Since when did wanting loyalty, consistency, effort, and respect become too much? Since when did basic human decency become a luxury you must earn? A man who truly wants you in his life will make sure you know it. He will not leave you guessing. He will not make you feel like you are difficult for wanting love that feels secure. And if you constantly feel like you are asking for too much, it is because you are asking the wrong man. You see, men know what they want. When a man wants a job, he applies. When he wants a car, he finds a way to afford it. When he wants a goal, he works towards it. There is no confusion, no hesitation, no overthinking. But when it comes to you, suddenly he needs time. Suddenly he is unsure. Suddenly he is not in the right place. Understand this, if a man truly wants you, he will move mountains to be with you. If he is making excuses, it is because you are not his priority. And if you are not his priority, then why are you making him yours? Too many women stay in situationships, in one-sided relationships, in emotional limbo, waiting for a man to decide if they are worthy of love. But love is not a decision he gets to make. Love is not something you prove yourself for. Love is something that flows naturally when two people genuinely cherish each other. If you have to keep asking where you stand, then you are standing in the wrong place. If you have to keep fighting for his time, then he is not fighting for you. If you have to constantly remind him of your worth, then he is not a man. He is a lesson you have not yet learned. And let's be honest, sometimes the problem is not him, it is you. It is the way you ignore the truth because you do not want to accept it. It is the way you make excuses for a man who has already shown you exactly who he is. It is the way you cling to potential, believing that if you just love him enough, he will eventually love you back the same way. But potential is dangerous. Potential is an illusion that keeps you stuck. It keeps you believing in a future that may never come. It keeps you attached to a version of him that does not exist. Stop falling in love with what could be and start seeing what is. Stop waiting for him to choose you and start choosing yourself. The moment you stop tolerating half love, the moment you stop accepting less than what you deserve, is the moment everything changes. A man who is meant for you will never need to be convinced to be with you. A man who is worthy of your love will never treat you like an afterthought. A man who truly sees your value will never make you feel like you are too much. The right man will never put you in a position where you feel like you must beg for the bare minimum. The wrong man will always make you feel like you are one step away from being enough. But hear me when I say this. You are already enough. You were enough from the very beginning. The only thing missing was a man who saw it. When a man truly loves you, he does not take your kindness as weakness. He does not take your loyalty for granted. He does not mistake your patience for permission to mistreat you. But when a man is using you, he will push the limits. He will see how much you will tolerate. He will test how far you will go to hold on to him. And the more you allow, the more he will take. There is a dangerous trap that so many women fall into. The belief that if they give more, love more, sacrifice more, then one day he will wake up and realize their worth. But tell me, when has love ever worked like that? Love is not a transaction. It is not an equation where the more you give, the more you get. If a man does not appreciate you today, he will not suddenly appreciate you tomorrow just because you poured more of yourself into him. If he does not respect you now, he will not start respecting you after you have given him every last piece of yourself. A man does not value what he can take for free. A man does not cherish what he never had to work for. You see, when a man is using you, he studies you. He learns what makes you tick. He observes what you need, what you crave, what you dream of. And then he uses that knowledge to keep you attached. He will give you just enough to keep you holding on, but never enough to make you feel secure. He will say the right words when he senses you are slipping away. He will throw in a little affection, a little effort, a little attention, just enough to make you think, maybe he does love me. But it is never consistent, it is never stable. It is a cycle designed to keep you emotionally hooked so you can continue taking without ever truly giving. And here is the truth. Men like this do not use women who know their worth. They do not prey on women who have strong boundaries. They seek out the ones who doubt themselves, who are afraid to be alone, who have been conditioned to believe that love means endurance. That is why it is not enough to simply blame the man. You must also ask yourself, why did I allow this? What inside me made me believe I had to accept this treatment? Why did I stay even when I knew I deserved better? Because healing is not just about leaving the wrong man, it is about understanding why you ever tolerated him in the first place. Somewhere along the way, society taught women that a good woman is one who stays, one who forgives, one who endures, one who keeps giving even when she is running on empty. But tell me, what kind of love requires you to suffer to prove it is real? What kind of relationship demands your pain as proof of your devotion? Love is not a battlefield where the one who suffers the most wins the prize. Love does not ask you to shrink, to bend, to break, just to make space for someone who refuses to grow. And yet, so many women stay. They hold on to the good moments, convincing themselves that the love was real, even if the pain was greater. They tell themselves, but he used to be so sweet, he used to call me every morning, he used to make me feel special. Yes, but what about now? What about the sleepless nights, the unanswered messages, the disrespect, the inconsistency? You cannot keep measuring love by what it was. You must measure it by what it is. A man who loves you does not love you in pieces. He does not love you only when it is convenient. Love is not just a memory of what used to be. It is a commitment to show up every single day without games, without conditions, without manipulation. The longer you allow a man to take advantage of you, the harder it becomes to recognize your own value. The longer you stay in a one-sided relationship, the more you start to believe that love is supposed to feel this way, like a constant struggle, like an endless waiting game. But love is not meant to be confusing. It is not meant to make you question your worth. It is not meant to feel like you are in a competition, fighting for attention, proving yourself over and over again. If a man truly values you, he will not risk losing you. He will not treat you like an option while expecting you to treat him like a priority. So the question is not whether he will change. The question is, when will you change? When will you decide that you have had enough? When will you stop making excuses for a man who has already shown you exactly who he is? When will you stop waiting for a man to give you the love that you should have been giving yourself all along? Because the day you choose yourself is the day no man can ever use you again. When a man is using you, he will never let you feel secure. He will keep you in a state of doubt, uncertainty, and emotional chaos. One day he showers you with affection. The next he acts like you are just another person in his life. He plays with your mind, keeping you hooked on the idea of maybe he cares. Maybe he is just busy. Maybe if you are patient, he will change. But the truth is, a man who truly loves you will never make you question where you stand. Understand this, love is not a guessing game. When a man values something, he makes it clear. Look at how he treats the things that are important to him. His career, his ambitions, his passions. Does he hesitate? Does he second guess? No. He commits, he invests. He gives it his all. But when it comes to you, suddenly he is unsure, suddenly he needs time, suddenly he is confused. But confusion is a choice, indecision is an answer. A man who truly wants you in his life will not leave you wondering. He will not make you feel like love is a riddle you have to solve. There is something deeply manipulative about a man who keeps you in a cycle of emotional highs and lows. He gives you just enough to keep you hopeful, but never enough to make you feel secure. It is like gambling. One moment you hit the jackpot with his attention, and it feels euphoric. The next, you are left empty, waiting for the next rush of affection. And just like a gambler, you keep playing, hoping that this time things will be different. But they never are. Because this is not love. It is emotional control. It is a game designed to keep you chasing, while he enjoys the power of knowing he has you exactly where he wants you. A man who truly loves you will not make you beg for his time. He will not make you feel like you have to earn his affection. He will not leave you feeling anxious, wondering if you are enough. Because love is not meant to make you insecure. It is meant to make you feel safe. And if a man's presence in your life brings more confusion than clarity, more tears than joy, more self-doubt than self-worth, then he is not loving you, he is using you. And yet, how many women hold on to these men? How many waste years waiting for a man to finally see their worth? But here is the truth. He already sees it. He has always seen it. He just does not care. He knows you are valuable, but he also knows that as long as he gives you small glimpses of love, you will stay. He knows that as long as he keeps you in this cycle of emotional starvation, you will always come back, hungry for the next drop of affection. And that is why he does not change, because he does not have to. You see, men know exactly what they are doing. When a man wants a woman, there is no hesitation, there is no uncertainty. He does not need time to figure things out. He does not leave her confused, questioning, waiting. He pursues her with clarity, with effort, with intention. But when a man is just using you, he will keep you trapped in a space of almost love. He will make you feel like you are one step away from being enough, like you are always on the verge of something real. But love is not something you should have to fight for. It is not a prize at the end of a painful journey. It is either there or it is not. And if you constantly have to convince a man to see your worth, then he is not blind. He is just not interested in giving you what you deserve. So what are you waiting for? Another excuse? Another empty promise? Another moment of temporary affection that keeps you stuck in an endless cycle? When will you finally see that love should not feel like uncertainty? When will you stop settling for a man who gives you only fragments of his heart? Because the moment you demand more, the moment you stop settling for confusion, is the moment everything changes. The right man will never make you doubt your place in his life. He will never make you feel like love is something you must beg for. And if a man cannot give you certainty, then why are you giving him your time? When a man is using you, he will always find a way to make you feel guilty for wanting more. He will twist your emotions, manipulate your thoughts, and make you believe that your expectations are the problem, not his act. The moment you ask for clarity, he will say you are being needy. The moment you set a boundary, he will accuse you of being difficult. The moment you express your pain, he will turn the blame on you. Suddenly you are too emotional, too demanding, too much. But let me tell you, a woman who knows her worth is never too much for a man who is capable of loving her. Pay attention to the way he reacts when you express your needs. Does he listen? Does he try to understand? Or does he dismiss, deflect, and make you feel bad for simply wanting respect, loyalty, and effort? A man who is using you will never take responsibility for his actions. He will make you feel like you are the one ruining things by expecting basic decency. He will turn the conversation around so that instead of questioning his behavior, you start questioning yourself. This is the power of manipulation. It makes you doubt what you already know to be true. It makes you stay when every part of you knows you should leave. And here is the trick. He knows exactly what he is doing. He knows that the moment you start realizing your value, the moment you start standing up for yourself, he will lose control over you. So what does he do? He plays the victim. He makes you feel like you are the one hurting him. He will say things like, "I never meant to hurt you," or "I just have a hard time expressing my feelings," or "Why are you always upset with me?" And suddenly, instead of holding him accountable, you are comforting him. Instead of demanding better, you are apologizing for expecting anything at all. This is not love. This is emotional manipulation at its finest. A man who truly loves you will never make you feel guilty for wanting to be loved the right way. He will never make you feel like you are asking for too much just because you refuse to settle for less. A man who loves you will not punish you for having self-respect. But a man who is using you, he will do everything in his power to make you believe that wanting more is the same as being unreasonable. And if he can convince you of that, then he can keep you in his life while giving you nothing of real value. This is why so many women stay stuck in toxic relationships. Because they have been conditioned to believe that if they ask for too much, they will end up alone. But listen to me, being alone is not the worst thing that can happen. The worst thing is being in a relationship that slowly destroys your confidence, your peace, your sense of self-worth. The worst thing is staying with a man who makes you feel guilty for simply wanting to be loved with honesty and respect. The worst thing is losing yourself while trying to hold on to someone who was never really holding on to you. And yet, so many women stay. They lower their standards. They accept the bare minimum. They convince themselves that something is better than nothing, that a little bit of love is enough. But tell me, if you walked into a restaurant and they only served you crumbs while everyone else was getting a full meal, would you sit there and be grateful? Would you say, at least I got something? No, you would demand the full plate you deserve. You would not settle for scraps. So why do you do it in love? Why do you allow a man to give you the bare minimum and call it love? A man who truly values you will not let you question your worth. He will not make you feel guilty for having standards. He will not punish you for wanting more. But a man who is using you will make you believe that your expectations are the problem. He will convince you that love is about sacrifice, but somehow you are the only one doing the sacrificing. He will say relationships require effort, but somehow you are the only one putting in the effort. He will say he cares about you, but somehow his actions never seem to match his words. So tell me, when will you stop making excuses for him? When will you stop feeling guilty for wanting the kind of love that does not leave you feeling empty? When will you stop believing that asking for respect is a burden instead of a right? Because the moment you realize that love should not come at the cost of your dignity is the moment everything changes. A man who truly wants you will never make you feel bad for expecting what you deserve. And if a man makes you feel guilty for wanting real love, then what he wants is not love. It is control. When a man is using you, he will always find a way to make you feel guilty for wanting more. He will twist your emotions, manipulate your thoughts, and make you believe that your expectations are the problem, not his actions. The moment you ask for clarity, he will say you are being needy. The moment you set a boundary, he will accuse you of being difficult. The moment you express your pain, he will turn the blame on you. Suddenly, you are too emotional, too demanding. But let me tell you, a woman who knows her worth is never too much for a man who is capable of loving her. Pay attention to the way he reacts when you express your needs. Does he listen? Does he try to understand, or does he dismiss, deflect, and make you feel bad for simply wanting respect, loyalty, and effort? A man who is using you will never take responsibility for his actions. He will make you feel like you are the one ruining things by expecting basic decency. He will turn the conversation around so that instead of questioning his behavior, you start questioning yourself. This is the power of manipulation. It makes you doubt what you already know to be true. It makes you stay when every part of you knows you should leave. And here is the trick. He knows exactly what he is doing. He knows that the moment you start realizing your value, the moment you start standing up for yourself, he will lose control over you. So what does he do? He plays the victim. He makes you feel like you are the one hurting him. He will say things like, I never meant to hurt you, or I just have a hard time expressing my feelings, or why are you always upset with me? And suddenly, instead of holding him accountable, you are comforting him. Instead of demanding better, you are apologizing for expecting anything at all. This is not love. This is emotional manipulation at its finest. A man who truly loves you will never make you feel guilty for wanting to be loved the right way. He will never make you feel like you are asking for too much just because you refuse to settle for less. A man who loves you will not punish you for having self-respect, but a man who is using you, he will do everything in his power to make you believe that wanting more is the same as being unreasonable. And if he can convince you of that, then he can keep you in his life while giving you nothing of real value. This is why so many women stay stuck in toxic relationships, because they have been conditioned to believe that if they ask for too much, they will end up alone. But listen to me. Being alone is not the worst thing that can happen. The worst thing is being in a relationship that slowly destroys your confidence, your peace, your sense of self-worth. The worst thing is staying with a man who makes you feel guilty for simply wanting to be loved with honesty and respect. The worst thing is losing yourself while trying to hold on to someone who was never really holding on to you. And yet so many women stay. They lower their standards. They accept the bare minimum. They convince themselves that something is better than nothing, that a little bit of love is enough. But tell me, if you walked into a restaurant and they only served you crumbs while everyone else was getting a full meal, would you sit there and be grateful? Would you say, at least I got something? No, you would demand the full plate you deserve. You would not settle for scraps. So why do you do it in love? Why do you allow a man to give you the bare minimum and call it love? A man who truly values you will not let you question your worth. He will not make you feel guilty for having standards. He will not punish you for wanting more. But a man who is using you will make you believe that your expectations are the problem. He will convince you that love is about sacrifice, but somehow you are the only one doing the sacrificing. He will say relationships require effort, but somehow you are the only one putting in the effort. He will say he cares about you, but somehow his actions never seem to match his words. So tell me, when will you stop making excuses for him? When will you stop feeling guilty for wanting the kind of love that does not leave you feeling empty? When will you stop believing that asking for respect is a burden instead of a right? Because the moment you realize that love should not come at the cost of your dignity is the moment everything changes. A man who truly wants you will never make you feel bad for expecting what you deserve. And if a man makes you feel guilty for wanting real love, then what he wants is not love, it is control. When a man is using you, he will never give you the respect you deserve. Not because he doesn't know how, but because he doesn't want to. Respect is not something that needs to be begged for. It is not something that should be earned by sacrificing your dignity. It is the foundation of any real connection. A man who truly values you will honor you in his words, in his actions, in his presence, and even in his absence. But a man who is using you, he will only honor you when it benefits him, when it is convenient, when it keeps you under his control. Pay close attention to how he treats you, not just in the good moments, but in the ordinary ones. When there's nothing to gain, when the world isn't watching, when he's not trying to impress you, does he still respect you? Does he still treat you with kindness and sincerity? Or does he become a different person when the spotlight fades? This is where the truth reveals itself, because respect is not something that turns on and off like a switch. It is not something that is performed, it is something that is lived. A man who is using you will give you just enough respect to keep you invested, but not enough to truly make you feel valued. He will call you beautiful, but he will not listen when you speak. He will say you are special, but he will treat you like an option. He will act like he cares when you are in front of him, but the moment you walk away, he will forget the promises he made. That is not respect. That is not love. That is manipulation disguised as affection. And here is the hardest part to accept. A man who does not respect you does not love you. Because love without respect is just possession. It is control. It is using you for comfort, for convenience, for validation, but is not love. If a man truly cares, he will not raise his voice at you in anger. He will not dismiss your feelings. He will not humiliate you in public or in private. A man who truly sees your worth will not play games with your emotions just to feed his own ego. But the problem is so many women are taught to settle. They are taught that if a man provides financially, if he gives them occasional affection, if he says, I love you once in a while, then that should be enough. They are told to accept half-hearted love, to tolerate disrespect, to understand when a man fails to treat them right. But understand this, a man who truly loves you will never put you in a position where you have to explain why respect is important. You will never have to remind him to be kind. You will never have to beg for the bare minimum. And yet, so many stay. So many tolerate the lies, the neglect, the emotional abuse, because they have been convinced that they do not deserve better. They believe the excuse that men are just like this. But no, real men, men with integrity, men with a genuine heart do exist. It is just that the wrong men have convinced you that respect is a privilege instead of a requirement. So why do you stay? Why do you let a man treat you like you're replaceable? Like your feelings do not matter, like your worth is negotiable? Do you not see that the longer you accept disrespect, the more you teach him that it is okay to treat you this way? Do you not see that every time you forgive without change, you are giving him permission to do it again? Because a man will only treat you as poorly as you allow. The truth is, a man who respects you will make it known. He will not make you feel like an afterthought. He will not make you question your value. He will not make you feel small so that he can feel powerful. Respect is in the way he listens when you speak, in the way he stands by you in difficult moments, in the way he never makes you feel like you are beneath him. But a man who is using you, he will never see you as his equal. He will talk down to you, make decisions without you, act like your thoughts do not matter. He will treat you like you are there to serve his needs, not like you are a partner with a voice and a mind of your own. And every time you tolerate it, every time you let it slide, he learns that you will stay no matter how little he gives. So the question is not whether he respects you. The question is, do you respect yourself enough to walk away from a man who does? Do you respect yourself enough to stop making excuses for a love that makes you feel unworthy? Because the moment you stop accepting disrespect is the moment you set the standard for the love you truly deserve. When a man is using you, he will make promises he never intends to keep. His words will be sweet, his voice filled with certainty, and his eyes full of conviction. But his actions, they will never match. He will say everything you want to hear. He will paint a beautiful future with his words. But when the time comes to prove it, he will disappear into excuses. He will say, I love you, but you will never feel secure. He will say, you mean everything to me. But his actions will show that you are just another option. He will talk about a future with you. But when you ask for clarity, he will suddenly become distant. A man who is using you does not lie in obvious ways. No. He lies through empty promises, through words that feel real but never materialize into anything tangible. And here's the painful part. He knows exactly what he is doing. He knows that his words are keeping you hopeful. He knows that if he feeds you just enough dreams, you will keep holding on. He knows that as long as he gives you little glimpses of what could be, you will stay and wait for the day it all becomes real. But the truth, that day will never come. A man who loves you will not just tell you, he will show you. He will not just promise, he will prove. Love is not about how beautifully a man can speak, it is about how consistently he acts. But a man who is using you will keep stringing you along, feeding you a future that only exists in words. One day he will say, I just need a little more time. The next day he will say, things are complicated right now. And you, believing in the love you feel, will give him that time. You will be patient. You will wait. Because he promised, and you want to believe that people keep their promises. But a man who is using you, he will never run out of excuses. He will always have a reason for why he cannot commit, why he cannot show up fully, why he cannot love you the way you deserve. And do you know what happens while you wait? You start making excuses for him. You start justifying his behavior. You tell yourself, maybe he just needs space. Maybe I'm being too demanding. Maybe I should be more patient. And slowly you lower your standards. Slowly you accept less than what you deserve. Slowly you become a woman who is holding on to a love that only exists in her imagination. But let me tell you something. If a man truly wants to be with you, there will be no maybes. There will be no endless waiting, no vague excuses, no empty promises. A man who genuinely loves you will be clear about his intentions. He will not keep you in confusion. He will not make you question where you stand. He will not leave you wondering if you are important to him. Because when a man values something, he protects it, cherishes it, commits to it fully. So why are you allowing yourself to be fed lies when you deserve truth? Why are you waiting for a man to choose you when real love does not require waiting? Why are you accepting promises that never turn into reality? A man who truly loves you will not keep you in limbo. He will not make you feel like you are constantly reaching for something that is always just out of grasp. A man who is using you will always say the right things, but he will never do the right things. And as long as you keep believing his words instead of watching his actions, he will continue to get away with it. He will continue to tell you one day while living his life as if that day will never come. So I ask you, how much longer will you wait for a love that is never going to arrive? How many more excuses will you believe? How many more times will you let your heart break over the same lies? Because the truth is, love does not exist in words alone. It is in the effort. in the consistency, in the actions that prove those words to be true. And a man who is truly yours will not leave you waiting in uncertainty. When a man is using you, he will never let you go completely, but he will also never fully hold on to you. He will keep you in a space of uncertainty, somewhere between hope and heartbreak. He will not commit, but he will not let you move on either. He will not choose you, but he will not allow you to be chosen by someone else. He will keep you as an option. Not because he loves you, but because he loves the power of knowing that you are still there. You will find yourself waiting for his texts, analyzing his words, wondering if this time finally he will change. But deep inside, you know the truth. You know that a man who wants to be with you will not keep you waiting in confusion. You know that love is not about feeling anxious, uncertain, or constantly questioning where you stand. Yet, you stay. Not because you do not see his games, but because you have been made to believe that your love, your patience, your sacrifices will eventually make him see your worth. But let me tell you something. If a man cannot see your worth from the beginning, he will never truly see it. If he cannot value you when you are giving him everything, what makes you think he will value you later? If he needs to lose you to realize your importance, then he never deserved you in the first place. Real love is not about convincing someone to choose you. It is about being with someone who sees your value without needing reminders, without needing to lose you first. And here's where the real trap begins. He will sense when you're about to walk away, and he will do just enough to pull you back in. Just when you have gathered the strength to leave, he will show up with apologies, with promises, with gestures that feel like love, but are only meant to keep you hooked. He will say, I've been thinking a lot and I don't want to lose you. He will tell you, I know I've made mistakes, but I'll do better. And for a moment you will believe him, because you want to. Because a part of you still hopes that maybe, just maybe this time will be different, but it never is. Because a man who truly wants to change, changes without needing to be begged. A man who truly values you does not wait until you're halfway out the door to start treating you right. Love is not about timing. It is not about needing space to figure things out. It is about knowing, without a doubt, that you want to be with someone and acting accordingly. A man who is using you will always keep you in a cycle of hope and disappointment, because that is how he keeps control. So the real question is not whether he will ever truly choose you. The question is, why are you waiting for someone who has already shown you who he is? Why are you giving your heart to a man who only reaches for you when he feels you slipping away? Why are you letting someone treat you like a backup plan when you should be someone's priority? Because let me tell you, there's nothing romantic about a man who keeps you waiting. There's nothing admirable about a man who only realizes your value when he's afraid of losing his control over you. And there is nothing beautiful about a love that makes you feel like you're not enough. So I ask you, are you really going to keep waiting for a love that is never fully yours? Or are you finally going to reclaim your power and give yourself the love that you have been so desperately waiting to receive from him? A queen does not beg to be chosen. A diamond does not plead to be valued. And a woman who knows her worth does not wait for a man to see it. You were not created to be an option. You were not placed on this earth to be a convenience for someone else. You are not a placeholder until he decides what he truly wants. You are not an afterthought in someone else's story. You are the story, the main character, the masterpiece. And yet you sit there waiting for a man who has already shown you that he will never give you what you deserve. Enough. Enough of waiting. Enough of hoping. Enough of believing in words that never turn into actions. The moment you realize your worth is the moment everything changes. A woman who knows her value does not chase, does not beg, does not sit around waiting for a man to wake up and see what he has. A woman who knows her value walks away with grace, with power, with the kind of confidence that shakes the very ground beneath her. She does not need to scream, she does not need to prove anything, she simply leaves. And in her absence, you see, the most dangerous woman in the world is the one who no longer waits for a man to choose her. The one who no longer entertains empty promises. The one who no longer lets her heart be a playground for men who do not deserve her love. That woman? She is unstoppable. She is unshakable. She is untouchable. And that woman? She is you, if only you're willing to step into your power. There comes a day when you must stop looking at a man's words and start looking at his actions. There comes a day when you must stop waiting for him to treat you right and start treating yourself right. There comes a day when you must decide that you are done giving your heart to someone who does not have the capacity to hold it with care. And that day is today. You are not here to teach a man how to love you. You are not here to convince someone to see your worth. You are not here to shrink yourself so he can feel bigger, to dim your light so he can shine brighter. No, you are here to be loved in the way you deserve, to be cherished without conditions, to be valued without question, to be respected without compromise. And the moment you stop settling for anything less is the moment you become truly free. Somewhere out there is a man who will see you for exactly who you are and love you without hesitation. Somewhere out there is a love that does not make you question your place, your value, your worth, but you will never find it if you keep holding on to a man who treats you like an afterthought. You will never receive the love you deserve if you keep wasting your time proving your worth to someone who refuses to see it. Let him go. Let go of the waiting, the hoping, the trying, the hurting. Let go of the version of yourself that thought love meant holding on at all cost. Let go of the belief that if you just love him enough, he will change. Because real love does not require suffering. Real love does not leave you in doubt. Real love does not keep you waiting in confusion. The moment you walk away from the wrong man, the right one will have space to find you. The moment you stop settling for less, you open yourself to receive more. The moment you choose yourself, the world will rearrange itself to honor that choice. So stand up, step forward, and never look back. Because the life, the love, the happiness you seek, it is waiting for you, not in the past, not in the hands of a man who could not see you, but in the future that belongs to the woman who finally decides to see herself.